Now, speaking of youth, though, Spurs for a number of years has been known to bring youth through to their first team. With Mourinho at the helm, do you think it's something that he will continue, Gary?
I think Mourinho has to be honest with you, because I believe that finances are going to be a little bit limited going forward or in the immediate future at Spurs. Obviously, the recent pandemic hasn't helped, but also Spurs have taken on a huge debt with building the new stadium. I think it's all calculated, it's all under control as such, but with that comes some limitations. Plus, I also think it's the duty of every club. What is the point of having an academy if you're not looking to produce players to get in your first team? Harry Winks is a prime example of somebody who's come through fairly recently. Skip, another midfield player, has got into the Spurs first team. And the greatest example is Harry Kane, of course, who's come through the ranks and got in the first team. So a player that they have developed and, of course, spent a lot of money on developing him. That there are costs that they incur through the academy. But what is Harry Kane worth now? If they wanted to sell him, if they wanted to cash him in, which I don't think they do for sure, which I don't believe they will either. But as an asset on that park, we've seen him tonight. He scored the second goal. We've seen the goals that he's scored across the last 3 or 4 seasons consistently. He's been a huge part of the club. So, I think Mourinho, and in actual fact, Jose Mourinho has made statements in the past outlining the number of players that he has introduced to senior football, young players, youth team players who've come through the ranks at all the clubs that he's been at. So I think Mourinho does deep down like to promote youth as well.
What about you, Carlton? What do you think? I mean, you played under Mourinho as a youngster. Do you think he will continue that tradition at Spurs?
Yeah, well, I played under him, but one thing about Mourinho, he does, because Spurs they got a young team as well. Mourinho is going to try and definitely try and bring the youth in, but he's not been known for nurturing the youth. I just don't think he's ever been known for that, because he's always had money at his disposal, and he could go and buy a ready-made player. But now I think because he hasn't been given all the money that he has to start looking at the youth and trying to get the youth involved. And it's boding well for the youth players in the academy over there. So fair play to him, and he's using a few of them as well. So they've got time on their side as well, and hopefully he can do that and make them a regular next season.
Now, well, you said he's not used to, or rather not known for nurturing youth. What do you mean by that? And what was your experience as a youngster yourself personally then working under him?
Well, for me, like when I worked under him, obviously he could go and buy the likes of Crespo, Drogba at the time when I was at Chelsea, and these big players where I couldn't even get into the team, which is understandable because he had to get a result and win the league like straight off the bat, really. So he needed to go and buy his players. But right now, you would say he has time on his side to go and get a player, and also bring in the youth and feed them into the youth to his system. So hopefully it does bode well for him, and it changes a different aspect of his managerial skill, and try and help the guys coming up through the ranks do a good job for his team in the first team.
Now, surely part of his managerial skill is man management, also managing the youth and the future potential of these players. Has he ever sort of come around to you as a youngster, kind of put his arm around and say, like, look, and try to boost your confidence despite you not having much game time?
What I would say, no, he's a sports psychologist. He knows exactly how to get the best out of every player. So sometimes he can be a little bit hard on you as a youngster. He can be. And it just depends how the youngster reacts to it. And he wants to always get a reaction out of his players. I don't know if he's changed now, but back then he was definitely trying to get a reaction out of his younger players to do better. And hopefully the players do not buy into his criticism and want to work to be a better player.
So what are the things that he does to try to get a reaction out of these players?
Oh, you don't. I can't tell the secrets, but he's put me under the cosh a few times. And now when I see him now, he knows exactly what's happened, and he'll always put his arm around me now. But he knew that I came through it stronger.